Hello, this is Albalis speaking. Today I'm doing a One Piece chapter review 985. And the first thing I want to analyze is the cover page, the color cover page. And you can see like Kid is trying to take away Luffy's food, symbolizing him trying to like take away the One Piece or something, I guess. Maybe I'm over analyzing it. And we can see in Luffy's shirt, it says Lucky and number 5 and I guess number 8. And we see Law, this in the back, and this could symbolize that Law will always have Luffy's back. And we see Law sharing his food. He doesn't want to bicker. And then we see something interesting with Kid. Kid has the Really and he has a skull. And there's also like an HEA. It can either be heat or hate or soul in the bottom, but the skull is the important thing. Well, I think it's important because this could be foreshadowing of Kid's death, because Oda likes to do that a lot. He likes to foreshadow in the cover pages, in the color cover pages. It was foreshadowed for Ace and it's being foreshadowed for Shanks, so Kid could actually die in this arc, potentially. And now let's go to the beginning. And now we go to the first chapter, and we see the Kanjiro anticipated that they would show up. So he's very proficient, I would say. And we see him waiting for them. And we see the group split up. Law's team isn't there anymore. And he starts yapping about, he knows they're persistent. And he talks about Izo, you came in vain. And he draws some pretty beastly headless samurai. To my opinion, they're pretty well designed. They're pretty beastly. And something gets brought up here about what Momonosuke actually tried to do. And we see that Momonosuke actually did injure Kanjiro and actually cut him, and he has a bandage. So this might come to play later on in the chapter, and we see Kiko just crying. And the fact that Momonosuke, got severely beaten. And then we get Kiko is actually shining here. Kiko's get his full name, and Kiko, she looks beastly in this samurai with the horns and everything. And she states something about her sword, that the cuts, like if she cuts you with this sword, it follows you into the afterlife. Now my question is, how does she know that? Has someone resurrected to know that? Or it could just be lore. But this could also just mean that this is another one of the cursed series sword, which is very interesting. This would be the second one in Wano, because the other one, Luffy apparently lost it, so it's MIA. And we see that Nakama Mushi now has a gun and is like showing it off to Inorashiki, the dog. And we also see now that Inorashiki has a sword in his leg, like a sword peg. And he says he's a dual swordsman now. He's a dual swordsman. So now he's showing off to him. We see that the clash starts, the battle begins. They should be able to coast through them, because they're not that. Kanjuro is the only threat here, I think. That's it. And now we go back to Yamato. And Yamato, for Nakama, she pretty much stated right here, I'm going on board on your ship. And this is so like Odin. Odin did the same thing. He didn't take no for an answer. He just like, to Whitebeard, I'm going on a ship whether you like it or not. I'm going on an adventure. And Yamato is pretty much doing the same thing here. I'm going on a ship whether you like it or not. And she starts blapping like, Luffy tells him, you're not Odin. Odin was love for the people. And she's like, okay, then you cosplay your own Odin. Pretty much that's what she said. And then we get to an interesting part about she has shackles. And apparently her shackles are the explosive type. She can't leave Onigashima. And I'm wondering if they're also Kairoseki. If they're Kairoseki and explosive type, that means she is severely nerfed. Like I'm talking about seriously nerfed. How powerful is Yamato? And we also see that she states that she's challenged Kaido several times, and Kaido has beaten her bloody every time. And this to me reminds me of Luffy and Garp's dynamic. Luffy and Garp's dynamic are pretty similar to Yamato's. So I wouldn't say like she actually hates Yamato. She actually hates Kaido. She actually just resents him for the way she was treated. And Luffy offers to remove the cuffs. And she points out like this is kind of symbolic to her in a way. You know, the cuffs have been her for 20 years in her life. She was 8. But Luffy points out like you really are going to fight are really going to fight with us. Even though, like Kaido says, he's going to beat Kaido right before her eyes. He's going to give Kaido a beating. Luffy never kills an opponent. This leads me to believe that Kaido will not die in this arc. There's no way Oda isn't that savage. He isn't that like sadistic where he's gonna kill Kaido in front of her own daughter. It's not happening. Unless, it's Blackbeard coming in and, then screw it. But other than that, I highly doubt Kaido will die, and I highly doubt Yamato will allow her father to be killed right in front of her. That's not gonna happen. It would be the same to Luffy. If a pirate was attacking Garp and Luffy's a pirate and that pirate is about to kill Garp, Luffy would intervene despite Garp having to treat him harshly and give him like beatings constantly. Luffy would still help out his Garp because he's like his father figure, and then the new Onigashima project announcement has begun. And Kaido starts off by saying that the Warlord system has disbanded, and this isn't just a whim. This is a sign to show that the Navy and the government are confident that they can take on Yonkos, but they are countering that with their alliance. And it's pretty nice how Oda drew Luffy and Yamato, her horns sticking out the wood, and it's cracking, crack, crack. It's pretty hilarious. I think that they have good chemistry. I'm not gonna lie. And he starts to announce he announces something pretty important, and that is the ancient weapons. Kaido seeking ancient weapons, and is going to utilize the ancient weapons to plummet the world into chaos, pretty much. And then the big announcement is the alliance with Big Mom, and Big Mom shows up. She finally has Seuss, and Seuss appears to be completely knocked down. But it also appears to be discolored. So my thinking is probably Nami tried to feed him some of those thunderclouds to try to power him up to attack Big Mom, and it didn't work out. And we also see that Nami and Carrot are being subdued. Lola nowhere in sight, but Nami and Carrot are being subdued by the little ghost figures. They're being subdued, and Robin takes note of this. And then they start bickering. It's pretty much Kaido and Big Mom bickering. And they announce like they're going to obtain the One Piece and utilize the ancient weapons to bring fear to humanity. And they also announce something, and the most shocking part of this chapter is that they're going to use Wano as a base of operations for the war, because Wano is a heavily defended place and it's not easy accessible. So they're going to use Wano as like a fortress to span out their turfs and to be like defensive against the navies and all that stuff. And they announce that they're going to use pretty much everyone as a slave. And the flower capital is going to become another like factory. That's when Orochi protests, and he's like, "Oh no, that's mine. Who do you think got you all those weapons?" And in a split second, Kaido just cuts this dude's head off. And you see like King holding the sword. He uses King's sword, and it looks like a clean cut. You know, his cut, blood splatter. I think Fukurokuju's shocked. Big Mom is just laughing it out. Orochi is completely dead. Well, knowing Oda, he's not dead. He's like a mythical soaring. So I highly doubt he's dead. And if he is, well, good riddance. I didn't like his character, so good riddance with him. But Oda, no, I don't think he's gonna kill him. He's not gonna die. I hope he dies at the end of the arc. But I, my fear is that he's gonna have a redemption arc or something. I hope not. And he pretty much tells the people that are following Orochi, choose now, become pirates, join them, or get slaughtered right there and there. That's a pretty big decision. And they pretty much state that Kaido has never cared about the Kuzuki clan, of any of the clans, or the struggle between Orochi and, you know, the Kuzuki clan. He doesn't care. And that's when Luffy noticed Momo. Oh, that's Momo. Oh, he's been captured. And Yamato tells him to shut up, he's being too loud. And they just fall down, and they're in a different hall. And pretty much Wano's gonna be called Onegashima, and it's going to be the new shogun is pretty much Yamato. And this shows that Kaido has pretty much a great deal of respect for her daughter Yamato. The fact that he's naming her shogun, and she wants to liberate Wano, wouldn't that mean she's capable of opening up Wano's borders by default? But then you also have Kaido on the side, so maybe not. And her, not even for a second, she's not taking that. She calls him stupid dad. She's not like she's yelling out. She's pretty much, the expressions are on par with Luffy, and that's what I'm saying. They have good chemistry. And you see in the background, you say, look, there's Yamato. So that means the people in Onigashima already knew what Yamato. They already know she's a girl. So there's no surprise on that. And Luffy's asking directions to Yamato, like, lead me to Kaido, because they're gonna kill Momo. And someone says in the background, call it Tobiropa. So I have a feeling they're not gonna get to Momo. Yamato and nerfed Yamato and Luffy are gonna have to fight the Tobiropa, which could be ulti in page 1, potentially, or new Tobiropa. Who's who, maybe, or Black Marie. Reveal Black Marie mom. Black Marie Yamato's mom, maybe. And then we see another with Okiko, and we see that her blade is covered in blood, and she is in tears. Does that mean she straight up killed Kanjuro? And my question is, no. Oda's not gonna off-screen kill Kanjuro like that. It's not happening. It's not gonna be a possibility. And I'm really excited for this. It looks like things are finally starting. The battle is finally starting. Everything's going into place. Big Mom is right next to Kaido, so everything's going to be potentially moving faster pace, because we're gonna have battles going out, and normally battles are faster pace in chapters, unless we're gonna have more exposition, which also leads me to believe that the shadow that Marco saw is definitely not Perospero. It is something else. Potentially, it could be Admirals, because remember, X-Drake is a traitor. He's an infiltrator. He's with the Marines. Potentially, we could have Admirals infiltrating as we speak. So anyway, that's all. That's my review. Pretty hyped, pretty good chapter. It moved the story a lot. Well, not a lot, but it still moved the story. And we're nearing where it's gonna be all out battles, pretty much. So thanks for watching. If you do watch, thank you very much, and have a nice day. Peace.